So I'm just going to go ahead and get started. First, I want to thank everybody for joining us for this week's conversation. If you tuned in last week, you heard me say this month in July, we're going to be focusing on getting the parent perspective. And so I am so awesomely excited to welcome my first guest this month, Miss Weaver. And so let me just say this. The interesting thing about this conversation is, Ms. Weaver, you're the first person that I'm interviewing that I don't have a personal relationship with. But I, as a homeschooler, have followed your story inside of our homeschooling networks that I found on Facebook. And to see someone that I had no personal ties with, that was such an inspiration for what you're doing with your children in homeschooling. My hat's off to you. As I've said to the audience before, I'm a mom of 7. My oldest 4 are adults, and I wanted to homeschool them, but I was too scared to. I didn't think that I was qualified to homeschool my children.
Same thing.
Here's the thing. I actually went through getting several degrees and several certifications, and I am a certified teacher, right? And so I stopped and homeschooled my children 3 years ago. I started this journey. Here's what I think most of our audience would be surprised to know. It was not my experience as a teacher that set me up for success to homeschool my children. As a matter of fact, I had to take everything I thought I knew about education, put it to the side, and really tap into my children.
Yes.
And so I am honored to have this opportunity to talk to you. And if you'd like to introduce yourself and the guests that you have with you, because I can't wait to hear from your daughter as well about her experience. I'm hoping that at the end of this conversation, it's going to inspire other parents to know you are absolutely qualified to do this job. So I yield the floor, Mrs. Weaver.
Okay, I am Katala, and this is Christopher Reese and Chrissa Reese. I didn't go to college. He didn't go to college, but I'm talking about the smartest. Like, he's our history book, our dictionary. And I felt the same way as being incapable because we have older grown children. Yes, I set them up when they went to school. They started out being advanced because I did my part, at home, because I wanted so bad for them to be, having what they needed.
Yes, ma'am.
So I hated when they had to go to school. I hated it. And so I didn't know about homeschooling. I wanted to keep them home and schooling myself, but I'm like, whoa, I'm not a teacher. I barely made it out of high school, not because I wasn't capable of doing anything, doing what I needed to do, but it was also, you didn't have the help that you needed. All at the same time, if you were quiet, you just got missed over, stuff like that. So, but when school started to change a lot for me, and I seen like the stuff that my older 2 kids went through, they came out with a breeze. I mean, they excelled, but the school system still failed them a lot. And so when I heard, that I seen someone homeschool, so they homeschooled. And I just asked them because I seen the lady around and I was like, do you homeschool your kids? Because I always see your kids, but she was like, yes. And I said, well, do you have to have a degree? She said, no. That was it for me. That was it.
Ma'am.
Yeah. And so my baby went to kindergarten and public school and first grade, and that was it. I couldn't take no more. And I pulled her out, and we've been homeschooling ever since. And when I tell you, we was doing grades, 2 grades at a time. I'm like, this is too much schooling. That's why she graduated so early, because I'm not going to do first grade and second grade. Why am I doing first grade and second grade? I'm going to pick one of the two, and I'm going to skip. And then that's what I did. I did third, and we did fourth and fifth together. We did
Mm-hmm.
not do 1 year this and 1 year that. And so then when we got to the high, kind of like more like the junior high level, I just kept repeating um, different algebra books. Nothing extensive, just different. Am I saying that right? Wait a minute. I did. Right. See, you see what I'm saying? So, look, I try to keep it simple because when you teach these kids stuff, they get smarter than you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I just kept finding. I did not buy a curriculum. I did not. I went only on paper and pencil. I chose to early on knew that I was not going to teach every subject. History was never a part of me. I never felt it. So I knew I was not going to teach that. I'm now starting to learn our history. So I couldn't teach, I was not going to teach that. So,
Mm-hmm.
I knew early on that I only wanted to teach English and math. Not English, math and reading. I'm sorry.
Okay.
English is not my forte. You already see that. But such bases, of course. And once I set the little foundation that I do know, she took off on her own. So we focused more on just reading and math. And I did that. I did no science.
Mm-hmm.
None. Absolutely. For her to want to be a nurse, I did absolutely none.
Wow.
I'm not an outdoor person. We didn't do that. When we needed to get stuff explained to us, like we just went to him. We just said, tell us, because he know everything. I don't know how, but he just knows everything. And so we just went to him. If we wanted to know something about history, about what's going on, like in the politics, oh, he just knows it. I mean, I guess he'd be secretly watching TV or something. Or reading these newspapers and books and stuff. Cause I'm like, how do you know all this stuff? And so, yeah, so that's what we did. And when we found out about um, our local community college, which is East Mississippi Community College, was offering a early college high school where you can dual enroll basically through the program, but you had to go there.
Okay.
And so when I went to visit it, the school, she was only 11. She was only 11. But because we were doing algebra on the eighth grade level, and we did it over and over and over, but with different books, so we learned different stuff, and it was never the same. So I'm like, okay, my baby is capable right now. And we finished eighth grade. That's what was required. I never told them her age because I didn't want that to be a reason she didn't get in.
Right,
So
right.
yes, and we looked at the school. It was small. They weren't taking but 60 kids. So all we did was apply, and we just started praying from there. And when we got the letter in the mail, we were shocked. We were literally shocked
Okay.
because go ahead.
Let me ask. So, what I hear you saying is you applied for your 11-year-old daughter
Yes.
to start college courses based on what you were teaching her as a homeschooling parent.
Yes, because they had to. Okay, so when you have to go to that school, you are classified to them as a ninth grader.
Okay.
But they start you with one college class. Sophomore year. And
no, they're freshman year.
Yes,
Yeah.
I know.
Right.
Yes, they start you out with one college class that first year. Then next year it becomes 3 or 4, whatever your child feel like they can take on. And so every summer, since we have been there, starting her ninth grade year, I made her take a college class, whether she needed it or not. We took a college class. We paid for it out of our pocket just to keep her going. Because listen, I wasn't teaching her anymore because she was way beyond me anyway. So I had never, let me back up a little bit. Because I didn't do a curriculum. Oh, I didn't get it out right. A curriculum. And this was going to be the first time that I actually really bought one if she didn't get into that school. And I'm glad I didn't.
Right.
because I was scared I wasn't going to be able to prepare her for high school. But when I finally looked at it, and I knew I could do it, because guess what? They give you everything that you need.
Wow.
And so when she got in, it took a burden off me, because I was scared, because I did want her to succeed. And so after then, if she got accepted, she started taking classes, and I made sure she took a summer class every summer. And this is where we are now. We
And
are.
can you
Yes.
can you please tell the people where she is now? Because this is one of the things that got me in looking at your Facebook post. Yes, ma'am.
She has graduated from this community college only needing 60 hours, and she did 71 hours on her own. Cried. Look, she cried many a days, because we was determined we could not take no for an answer. And now she have graduated, and she's in a nursing program. She
At
was
what age?
At 16, she got in and was accepted to the nursing program. Listen, we worried so much, because we went to 3 different schools. And because of her age, we threw that out there first, because I didn't want them to be blindsided.
Right, right.
And everybody was just looking at us. I'm telling you, I want to be honest. I don't think people liked it. They did not like it. They were in shock first. And then it was like, wow, like, how did she do that?
Yeah.
And I'm like, that is like a crazy question. How did you have your success that you have right now?
Right.
She studied hard. She worked hard. And guess what? Mama couldn't help her at all. She had to figure it out and do it on her own. She did. And I tell you, we will be surprised when we see her name on the dean's list, because it was tooth and nail. Do you hear me? It was amazing experience. When I tell you, totally amazing, because I'm still in shock.
I hate to keep interrupting you, but one thing I'll say to the audience, as I said to you, we don't pre-script these conversations. So everything you're saying, I'm just finding out. So my mouth dropping is truly my authentic reaction.
Thank you.
And to hear that you pulled your daughter out, what'd you say, first, second grade, and began homeschooling her. And by 11, you enrolled her at the local junior college to take 60 hours. She took 71 hours. Yes, Not only did she pass those 71 hours, but she was on the dean's list consistently. Right. And has been, at the age of 16, accepted into a nursing program.
Yep. At the Mississippi University for Women.
And to remind people, you're not telling me, ma'am, I did this as a certified teacher. What you're saying is, I'm a parent that believed in myself and believed in my child's ability. And really what I hear you saying is, you would not put any limitations on that beautiful young daughter of yours.
No, ma'am, you better ask her.
Please, yes, I would love to hear from your daughter. Please share.
She kind of shy, but hey, jump in here.
My parents have put me through a whole bunch of schooling. I'm taking summer class right now.
Right now. Don't even need it. Right now.
I wanted to make sure that I was going to be good. I took the ACT 3 times to make sure I had it. And I stuck with a 19 3 times, so I had to stick with it. So the fact that I'm in the nursing program, I was so excited. I was like over the top. I cried a little bit. I was like tears in my eyes. It was so exciting.
And just imagine, she took that the first time she took it was at 12. So then 19 was at 12. And she got that 19. Listen, I don't know why we can't get over that hump, but that's okay, because that's all she needed to get in that nursing program.
At 12, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Reese, you're sitting back there quiet. What do you have to say, sir? Because I can see you beaming. You look like the proud dad. What would you like to share?
Well, I mean, she did it all. I just basically was the financial part of it. I helped out where I could, but if it wasn't for her, I don't know what we would be. So she deserved all the credit. And
wow.
Besides my great genes that I gave her. So,
I knew you was gonna say something.
She pushed the envelope. She was hard, she was in her corner, she fought for her. And,
hard. Listen, you can do it. I promise you. I try to tell everybody, your child, God has gave you everything you need to raise your children fully. Every day we prayed, and I still do it with my 6-year-old. Lord, thank you, Jesus. Well, she just turned 7. She sleep. We pray every day because she wanted to be here. We pray every day that I ask God to give me the knowledge that I need and the patience, because you have to ask for that every single day.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, because sometimes I don't know. And when I was with her, she don't know. Now she don't know this. I would sit up some nights and I would go over whatever work we was going to do the next day, because some stuff I just didn't know. And so I went, I got up, I would look over that night, I would Google, and we had one teacher that was in our corner, but wasn't in our corner. And she told me that later, but I already knew it. She doubted me every step of the way. But at the same time, she doubted me. And that's why this is why I appreciate her and add her in, is because even though she doubted me every step of the way, because I wasn't per se educated, and she is a Black lady, she also had an open door. When I did not understand and could not get her to see it, if I picked up the phone, she was like, come now. It wasn't tomorrow. It wasn't next week. She would say, come right now.
Yes.
And she would explain it to her in 2 seconds. It would make me so mad. But hey, whatever it takes. And she would get it like that. And we didn't have to see her again for another 6 to 8 months. That's just how good it was. And it just that sometimes when you can't tap into your kid, you might need that one person just to tell them a different way. And and you can keep on moving.
Right. And so one of the things little Miss Reese has always had is a mom and dad who believed in her. And like I said, didn't put any limitations on her. And that outweighs everything.
It does.
That outweighs absolutely everything. And to even hear you say, as a mom, you were humble enough to say, okay, I brought my child this far, but I know when to tap on that next person's shoulder to say, hey, she's just not getting it, so I need a little help. The fact that you were staying up the night before reviewing concepts to make sure that you were ready the next morning. Wow. I am so, you're making me excited even more about my journey. Like I said, I've only been doing this for 3 years.
Wonderful.
I still know. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
You can, and I tried to tell the other homeschool parents, yes, they had a group of 60 that they were taking in and they were taking up under their wing, but you can do it yourself. You can dual enroll your own children in school as long as they have completed whatever the college said they had to have completed.
Right.
Start taking those classes. You do not have to wait on no other program. You just simply go and talk to them and tell them, ask them, what is the process to dual enroll? You will be amazed how quickly you can do that.
Let me ask this because I heard you say you have a 6-year-old, just turned 7-year-old. So for those parents with younger children, let me ask, what does that look like for you homeschooling your younger child then? What things do you, and I heard you say, hey, I don't try to master all the concepts, that these are the ones that you work on consistently. So which ones do you work on with your younger child?
The same, we dealing with the same with the reading a lot, math, and spelling. We're going to third grade. We're reading a lot, and she reads so good. She wants to be a doctor. She so I got to try to do something a little bit different with her to try to get her a
Yes.
little bit more prepared. So I'm thinking about a little bit just what anatomy.
Anatomy.
I think about starting that early with her.
Okay. No, I was going to say, and here's the thing, you won't get pushback from me because your experience and what's happening with you and your daughter are your proof that what you did worked for you and your family. And
Thank you.
to me, I feel like that's one of the best things about homeschooling is it gives us the ability to tap into teaching our children in a way that's appropriate for them at that time. Because when we're homeschooling, we're not bound by state standards or Common Core for what the state says is supposed to be done at a specific time. And here's the thing, at the end of the day, to me, if you get your child where they love learning, which clearly your oldest daughter does, they're going to get what they need at the appropriate time, you know? And that's one of the things I have to tell you was one of the hardest things that I had to do a paradigm shift mentally when homeschooling my children, because I was so much of an educator that I was like, okay, I got to teach this, then this way. And honestly, it was my son that taught me no, because he's like, nah, I ain't ready to do that right now. But he would come back at 8, 9 o'clock at night, 2 weeks from now. And, you know, it's like this. And it's like, oh, wait, you got it. Oh, okay.
Because they're always listening.
Right.
That's what we got to realize. Even if they don't want to do it, they listening.
Right. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Wow. I see we have another little person that just joined us. Hello, beautiful.
That's Erin.
Hello, Erin.
And she's totally different from Akrissa. She's more spiritual, and I don't know why. She's my she's always praying. She pray. And so, like I said, she's just her own little person. Like, she would not let me do it the way I did it with Akrissa right now. You know, it's the same teaching, but it's like, let's wait on that, you know?
Yeah.
But so that's our story to me saying, oh, she's not going to be able to talk to people. And I'm like, we talk every day. You know, that's my story. We engage in her every day. She want to talk, we talk. She want to play, we play. You know, so, you know, I don't understand, you know, some of the things that people say as if it's not the same. The only difference is I'm teaching her.
Right.
And so the teacher that we had that helped her doing math, and she had to come back and say, hey, I applaud you, and I'm so sorry. And I did this and I said this, but I see that you did it. Yeah. So it was a joy, but I didn't take it to heart because she was willing to open up herself and help, not only just criticize. So as long as somebody may be trying to criticize you a little bit, but also lending a helping hand, they'll see eventually.
Right.
That it's worth it.
Right. Well, here's what I will say. You are definitely a living testament that what you did works. So regardless of what people had to say about what it looked like, the reality is it looked exactly like it needed to look for you and your family. And it worked for you and your family.
So it stings a little bit when people start to doubt you. You know, they doubt how you want to change your children's lives, you know, and not in a bad way. I'm like, man, just think if I was doing something bad.
Right.
So, yeah, but I'm happy that we're here. I'm so proud of her. I'm telling you, it's just like, I can't believe it. Because I'm so just stuck in the moment. I am here, every step of the way. I want to be involved. Look, I do a lot of calling, I do a lot of talking, and I will be there if something don't go right, because I know by her being as young as she is, a lot of times she didn't speak up. And the first thing that professors tell, kids, when they're in their college classes, I don't have to talk to your mama.
Mm-hmm.
So guess what? Because they didn't know her age, they didn't care. They wanted her to be like, they wanted her to step into that role at 11 years old to be, hey, I don't have to talk to your mama. Don't be telling your mama problems. But hey, you don't have to talk to mama, you think.
Yes, ma'am.
See, that email don't have no face on it. So yeah, so this, but it was all good. It really was. It was good.
Wow. This has been awesome. Thank you so much for sharing your journey. Oh my goodness. Wishing you all the best in your journey.
Thank you. And we wanted to share the classes.
Yeah.
Because if you like me and haven't been to college, I didn't have any help. So guess what? We were going by the paper and we were going by what was needed. And so since I learned that, I want to just share it, because don't puzzle your brain. I'll just tell you.
Right. Yeah.
If you could lift one burden up off someone, hey, that's the best thing. And then I'm going to share it, and I can just send it to you if you want to share it.
Thank
or I can
you.
to share. I can send it to you personally, and if it, hey.
And I will definitely post it on the website. And here's the thing, our motto here at Rise Up First is let our experience be your teacher. Because as you said, if I went through it and I have the bumps and the hickeys and, from all the pitfalls and things that I fell in to get to this point, why would I want someone coming behind me to make those same mistakes? And so the goal really for this side of Rise is to get parents together like yourself to say, hey, this is the roadmap. So you don't have to go through this blindly. I'm willing to share my experiences to help the next person coming along this journey. So thank you. Thank all four of you for your willingness to share your experience. So again, our experience can be the next person's teacher. I so appreciate all of you for joining us today. We will definitely stay in contact. On that note, I want to say bye to our audience, and I will see you again soon with another amazing interview from a parent's perspective.